Today is day 3 of water tank installation. We're not actually going to be installing a tank today. We are working on the wastewater tank now, and today is like our prep day. So we have sort of taped it into place to look at all the spacing, and because of how we're going to mount it, we need to add some extra support to the chassis to make sure that the straps don't loosen or bend or anything like that. So today, well actually yesterday, Jerry went to the reclamation yard. He found this crazy massive piece of steel and he is angle grinding it down into the right length that we need, and then it's going to go off to a friend of his who can drill some really precise holes in it, and then it should be ready to be mounted, and then we can mount the tank. So that'll probably be in a couple of days. So I'm playing assistant today to Jerry with the angle grinder. This is the crazy lintel that Jerry got at the reclamation yard, which he's now angle grinding down into the right shape and size pieces that we need. And yeah, it's a beast. But thank goodness that we can use the vise in the workshop at the ferry yard, and it seems to be cutting down amazingly. So I'm excited to see how we're going to be able to reuse this piece to work in our bus. That's top recycling for you there. So out of that massive bit of lintel that I showed you earlier, these are 2 pieces that Jerry has cut down. These are brackets. They're going to get some holes drilled into them, and then I'll show you the idea of what we're doing with them. That'll be in a couple of days, but 2 pieces so far, and we've got those bits you can see leaning against the door to go and make some more. So we're moving. So after a couple of hours of work, this is all the brackets that we need cut. That was a very productive couple of hours, 3 hours with Jerry. We got all the brackets cut to finish mounting all the water tanks. He's got to go off and do some stuff and drill holes and get all that ready. So he's going to come back in a few days for us to mount that water tank. But in the meantime, there are lots of things that I need to be getting on with, and it's a beautiful day, so there's no excuse not to just crack on and hopefully make some really good headway. Just all these little things that I just haven't finished yet. So Laurie is coming any minute now to help me put new film on these 2 windows because they're finally clean. Well, I guess we'll see how clean they are when we put the film on. And I got the right film, which is good, I think, hopefully. And then we'll put the window surround back on, so that's another big tick. I'm going to finally finish taping all the insulation up there that you can't see that I hadn't done yet. And I'm going to attempt also to finish taping and putting in the insulation that surrounds the 2 back doors, because that's also half done. So I want to try and just get all that done today. I'm just a bit sick of it hanging around and hanging over me. The other thing I need to do is to give the box that the diesel heater sits in a really good clean, because it's all kind of rusty and the paint's coming off. And I've got new paint, so we're going to spray paint all of that as well with some new rust protection. So that will also be ready to go. And at some point in the next few days, Simon and I will have a go with the diesel heater and try and get it running again to see if our servicing actually worked. We've got a new fuel pump for it. If we can get it running, then I need to call a company and buy a new control unit for it. So, and then there's a bit of wiring and all that kind of stuff to do. But anyways, the other thing I need to have a look at is some plumbing, because we've got the first big freshwater tank in, and we were able to put the sensor, the water level sensor, on it before we installed the tank, because that was going to make our lives easier. But we didn't put any of the other outlets on it yet because we've got quite a tight space and I didn't have all the right fittings and fixings, so we really needed it to be in for us to be able to see where everything's going to go. So I need to do a bit of an inventory. It looks like all the things I bought based on research that I'd done on what other people had done probably aren't going to work for what I'm doing, which is so typical. Luckily I didn't spend a huge amount of money, so it's not the end of the world, but I might end up going to the plumbing shop and just trying to see if I can get all the right bits for it. So a lot to crack on with today, but I really feel like today I'm gonna put some good effort in and make some really good headway. We're really starting to power here. I'm really excited. The plan is to get the water tanks in by the beginning of next week, and then I can faff around a bit whilst Jerry's on holiday. And then when I come back, Jerry goes on holiday for a week, and then I go on holiday for a week, and then when he gets back, we will fix the floor down and lay the the vinyl. So yes, we think by the middle of June, water tanks will all be fully, perfect and installed, and then the floor will be fixed and the vinyl will be laid, and that is a mega milestone. Job number 1 finished. So the new window film is on this window, and so far it looks good. So here's hoping that by tomorrow we don't see any big bubbles. And annoyingly, I only bought so this one isn't done because I only bought I only bought enough film for one window, because before I wasn't sure if it was the right film or not, so I bought one. It's good. So I've just bought some more film. Hopefully in a couple of days we can get it on. But because I was just worried about consistently moving the fiberglass frame in and out, I've decided just to put the frame back on so it's out of the way and it's easy. Looks good, and we can just still put the film on even with the frame in place. So one job done. Next job is trim all this foam off and get taping all of this. Let's finish this job off now. Another job done, all of the top taped up. Morning. It is day number 4, 5 of water tanks. Bit of a snag this morning. We were going to go full pelt, install the wastewater tank because we have all the bits, everything's ready. And as we were kind of positioning it this morning, we realised that actually the way that we had engineered fixing it to the chassis was fine. It would have worked, but it would have meant the water tank was a bit too high to achieve the right kind of I don't know if there's like a proper word, degrading, or basically for the plumbing there needs to be the plumbing needs to be able to go down into the water tank for gravity, and we realized the water tank was going to sit too, or the wastewater tank was going to sit too high. So we've now had to kind of stop and regroup and come up with a new plan for just how to fix it so that it's a bit lower. So I don't think we'll be installing the water tank today, but we'll be re-engineering and getting everything else kind of ready. So but I would rather, I'm sad we're not getting it in, but I would rather that we do it properly and it doesn't give us issues later on down the line. I'm very tired today, my words are not working. Anyways, I will let you know what's happening. This is the box that the diesel heater sits in that mounts to the underneath of the bus, and one of the jobs it's been on my list for ages, is to give this a good scrub down and then give it a repaint with some rust protection paint. So today is as good as any to start that. I have just come over to the bus to just like do a few little jobs, but to be honest, I think that I need to do like a mega clear up. The last time Jerry and I worked on it a couple of days ago, we just shoved everything in and like it's just stuff everywhere, stuff in bags, like just, it's just mad. Hold on, I can actually show you a better view. Look at all this stuff. There's like rubbish, there's things in bags, there's like storage stuff, there's the box that I need to keep working on, all my window coverings, there's the waste tank, there's more bags, boxes of things. Like I just don't know where anything is, and Jerry is going to do a little bit of work on the bus while I'm away next week, so I need to sort some of this stuff out because one, he's, you know, never going to be able to find anything he needs, and also there's a few things I need to do before I go away next week, so I can't work in this space like this. Let's do a quick cleanup. I'm not necessarily sure how much tidier it looks, but at least I sort of know where things are, and yeah, I'm starting to kind of put things aside for Jerry that he might need, put things aside for what I'm going to need in the next few days, so yeah, it's slightly better than when we started. Good morning, it is a new day in the bus, and I am very lucky today because Laurie and Simon have agreed to come and help me, and so as you can see behind me, Laurie is cutting the last bits of the insulation for the back of the bus, and what you can't see is behind the camera, Simon is working on trying to get the diesel heater working. We had a little bit of bad luck this morning because one of our main jobs was to try and fit the window film on the last window, and just as we had the backing off and we were ready to put it on, a big gust of wind came and it smushed it all together. So that piece was unusable, which was the only piece I had. So that job is now on pause until I order another piece of film for it. So we are now swiftly moving on to other jobs. I am going to be tackling the diesel heater box, which needs to be sort of scraped off and all the rust cleaned off and then given a fresh coat of rust prevention paint. So it's all go today. All in all, I would say that hasn't been the most successful few hours of work. As I said before, we didn't get the window film done. I need to reorder new film. Laurie did manage to fill out the rest of the insulation, so I can tape all that, which is amazing, and I'll continue on the other side now. We didn't manage to get the diesel heater going. We've gotten to the point where we know that power is coming to it. It just doesn't seem to be working. So Simon has taken that home to do some research and have another go. So we will not be defeated yet, but yeah, things not going as smoothly or as easily as we had hoped, but that is just a project. Oh, I think I've got stuff everywhere. As you can see, that's the diesel heater box. I have completely cleaned it and chipped off all the kind of paint that was coming off of it, and so I just need to sand it, but I don't have my sander with me today, so that'll have to wait till tomorrow. But then I can sand it and repaint it, and that'll be another thing done. So I'm going to tidy, I'm going to finish off those back ends and tape and everything, and then yeah, I think that's probably all I can do for today, and I will reassess for tomorrow. I've got some errands to do. I'm gonna try and go to the metal shop. There's like a metalsmith's near here, to see if I can get some brackets that will help us with mounting the wastewater tank. And I also need to just double check all the fittings because I need to make sure I've got the right piping, like diameter of pipes and everything, and yeah, so still some more stuff to do, but it's a nice day. We're getting there. We're getting there. I know it's all worth it, even though it feels like everything's taking forever and nothing's moving forward. Well, finally, that is one side of the back of the bus. Finished insulated, taped. Just need to finish taping this side, and then I know you've heard me say this a million times, but for real, the insulation of the ceiling and all the walls is completely done. It is all taped, everything is insulated, and obviously we're just leaving these channels because they're really good for either side running wiring. So as you can see, this was original to the bus where they ran their wiring, and it's such a good idea. So we're probably going to make the same holes on this side so that then we can have electrical running down this side of the bus, electrical running down this side of the bus, and hopefully it should make life easy. So let's get on with the last side. Well, it is blowing a gale outside and it has been monsoon raining all day, which is kind of the first proper rain that we've had in what feels like a really long time. So I was actually quite excited because I thought this is the perfect time for me to come out and check the bus and check the roof and see if there's been any leaks since, you know, weeks and weeks ago I added all that extra sealant to try and stem the leaks. So I'm going to put you on time lapse and I'm going to do a check of this ceiling, and let's cross all of our fingers and toes that everything's dry and there's no leaks. So that all seems like really good news. I've just felt everywhere, I've looked everywhere on the ground, I don't see any watermarks, there's nothing that's wet around any of the things we've put up. So I really hope that means that that is our roof leak issue sorted, which means that whenever we feel the time is right, hopefully sooner rather than later, we could finish the ceiling. That's really exciting. Hi guys, forgive me for looking a little bit like a hot mess. I've literally just got home from the airport because I was on holiday and I was in beautiful sunny Portugal, and now I've come home and it's just like grey and raining. But I've come home to something very exciting, and let me just turn you around and show you what my house looks like at the moment because it's kind of insane. There are just so many packages to open, and it is all stuff for the campervan, and I'm so excited. It's exciting stuff, expensive stuff. I did a bit of a crazy order, and yeah, I'm going to unbox all this stuff and then show you what goodies we have. But this is like mega leap forward in terms of just all the things we're going to need to get this campervan up and running. So yeah, let's do a little time lapse of me unwrapping all this stuff, and then I can show you everything that I got. Here is the tour of all my exciting presents. I honestly did feel like a child, like on Christmas, opening all this up. So first things first, we have a gas locker. So this is for my gas canister. It'll take a 6 kilo gas canister, and it's sealed, and it comes with all the fittings and things, although I will have to watch some YouTube videos because I have no idea. I guess you have to make a hole in the box somehow to get the tube out. So anyways, I've got one, which is good. The reason that I bought this now, because I don't expect to have gas in the bus anytime soon, but this is going in the kind of garage area under the bed, and so it's really important that I had this to be able to size properly, like to make sure the layout was going to fit when we start building the bed and that area. So yeah. Second thing, very exciting. It's my fridge freezer. This is very exciting. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a 12 volt compressor fridge freezer. It's got oodles of space, which I'm really excited about. One thing that's a little bit weird. Oh no, there we go. Phew, I thought the handles hadn't come, but no, they have. So this is a Montpellier 12 volt fridge freezer. It's got this gorgeous like retro style, which I love. And I was looking at these for ages. I really wanted one, and they're supposed to be very good, but they're very expensive. It was like, if you want to buy one new, it's about £600 retail price, which is expensive. But I've been kind of stalking online, and on eBay I found a Campervan conversion company who was selling this one for, I got it for $350 plus free shipping, because apparently it's got some cosmetic defects, which, oh, it's got like a tiny little dent on the side here, which literally is like no bother to me. And as you can see, it's completely brand new. It's never been used. It's not the colour that I wanted, because they come in all different cool colours, but that's okay. I'm just going to spray paint it the colour that I want. And yeah, so that's a big buy, but it's, even though I don't have the kitchen yet, one, it's important to help me size for the kitchen units, but also I'm going to be going away in Betty in July to a 4-day festival, and one of the things that I felt like I really needed was like a fridge to be able to store drinks and food. So even if we don't have a full kitchen by then, we're gonna have a fridge. Moving on to the next exciting bit, these two massive boxes. One isn't open because they're two of the same thing, but this is like the heart of everything. This is a 280 amp hour lithium leisure battery, and I won't take it out of the box because it's so heavy that I can barely lift it. And if one of these wasn't good enough, we've got two. So I think by my calculation that is going to make 560 amp hours of leisure battery, which should be more than enough to power anything and everything that I want, and to be able to stay off grid for as long as I want in the summer. Who knows, maybe even in the winter. I don't know, we'll find out. That's been by far the biggest expense outlay. These batteries were about £400 each, and that was on sale. But I think it's really worth it, and I wanted to buy good quality batteries. So we're starting to get a lot of the big services here. Now, other things that came, other goodies. So, after continually borrowing Simon's angle grinder and anybody else's angle grinder, I realised that I should really just invest in my own angle grinder, because it's just a useful thing to have. Anyways, surprisingly, the Makita one wasn't actually very expensive. So, I now have an angle grinder. I also remembered to buy angle grinder discs. I also bought myself another tool, which is a nail gun, because I think that putting up the ceiling and building furniture and stuff, this is going to be very useful. I also got an extra battery with it, because I've only got 2 batteries at the moment, and I always find that we run out of battery power, so I bought myself an extra battery. Then these are light switches. These are dimmer switches, so there's 2 of those. Those will dim all of my lights, or control all of my little puck lights. This is exciting. So this is my Victron MPPT solar charger. This means that now I can finally test the solar panels to see if they actually work. And I've made the leap to get a Victron. I'm going to go with a Victron electric system. I know it's expensive, but it's the best, and I want what I'm building to be quality. I want a really good electrical system, and it's going to have good resale value if I ever need to resell the bus. So alongside the MPPT, I've also got the Victron Smart Shunt battery. I don't know what it does, but it's part of the system. So that's the beginnings of the 12 volt system. These are some little USB in USB-C chargers, charging points, because again, really useful to have those for my phone and things. And then this is a 12 volt, can't do it with one hand, a 12 volt fuse box, so that I can run all these 12 volt pieces. And then finally, this, which I really hope isn't damaged because it's not supposed to come bent, but anyways, is the final window film for that final window that we keep trying to do and that we keep not being able to do because either the film is the wrong quality of film, or like we get an inopportune gust of wind like last time and it just messes it all up. So hopefully, billionth time lucky, that should be the right film and hopefully it's not damaged. But yeah, so that is my haul. It's a pretty exciting haul, I will say so, which means that there's really no excuses not to get going on installing all of this stuff. Jerry is coming back tomorrow. We're gonna keep going. We need to get that wastewater tank in because then we can finish the floor. We've got some diesel heater updates, which is quite exciting. Our progress tomorrow hinders or is being led by hopefully the fact that I'm going to go to the metal shop tomorrow morning and hopefully the man will have made the brackets that we need for that wastewater tank. That's what's been slowing us down. That and Jerry going on holiday for a week and then me going on holiday for a week. But tomorrow we're going to put all the fixings on the water tanks. We're hopefully going to get the metal brackets, which means that we can start to mount that wastewater tank. And as soon as that wastewater tank is in, we can fix the floor down. So another job tomorrow is to go and order flooring. There's a lot to do, but we're getting there. I'm so excited. Another point that I just want to make really quickly about like buying all this stuff. The reason I'm so excited about actually buying all this stuff is because one, this actually is a hell of a lot of money of stuff. It was about £1,400 worth of stuff, maybe more. I think more actually. But one, having bought this stuff and kind of ticked those things off the list means that we're sort of, we've got the stuff on hand when we need it. But also, I'm really excited because I'm able to buy all this stuff not on like credit or on loan or like borrowing money from anyone. I told myself at the beginning of this build that this build was going to get done on like cash money. Like, if you don't have the money to spend, then you don't spend it. If the money has to go to paying the electricity bill for the house for the month, then you can't buy the thing for the bus. Because I really wanted this project to be, just paid off and paid as I went, not borrowing money here and there to try and do it and then hoping to pay it back later. That's been something for me, for my like personal finance journey, that's been really important because when I was younger, I was not as good with money and borrowed money and just put stuff on credit cards and then got into debt, which I'm still paying off. And so for me, like all these projects that I've been doing with the house and with the bus, it's all about building assets that have value and that the money isn't owed anywhere else, that they're completely mine. That's a big thing for me. So to be able to, have worked hard to earn the money to then be able to put it in and buy all this stuff for the bus is just kind of mind-blowing and exciting. So you've probably had enough of me talking. I'm absolutely zonked because I've been traveling all day and I'm now home and I cannot wait to sleep in my bed tonight. But I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.